Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. I'm Steven Silver, character designer and teacher, dedicated to helping you learn about the art industry and living up to your potential. Whippy! All right, welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. So today what I wanted to talk about is just really information that I feel we should be sharing in these times. So the crazy thing that's happening, as you know, we are experiencing the wildest ride we have ever experienced before. We've been on a journey of watching movies and watching things where we see and living in a time where we see innovation happening all the time. Like there was the times where you got Dick Tracy on his watch and is just talking into it, and our social media devices, and we read about rocket ships going up into space and landing on the moon and all these amazing things that were once written about, talked about, shown in movies, and they actually happened. Never in a million years did we think in our time, again, it happened during the pandemic in 1911, I believe it was, but there was no social media. People couldn't connect the way we can connect. There wasn't the movies and things like we have today. But for the first time, we're all experiencing this together, and it's just like, what the heck? Are we in some sort of crazy movie of some sort? And that's almost like what it just kind of feels like, that this isn't real. And this is why it's a shock to the system. And that's why a lot of us are reacting to it in the ways we're reacting, because wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen. This is not what we've been told other things and this and this. So again, it's this real sort of shocker. And the thing that we got to do is, in all honesty, come to acceptance of the fact that we are in this. We're not going anywhere else. We can't fly anywhere. We're not traveling to another planet. We're not doing anything. This is our reality. This is our world. We're experiencing the horror movie that a lot of us never wanted to experience. But through this time, there are a lot of bad things happening. People are losing their jobs. People are losing work left and right. I mean, it's happening. It's happening to me. It's happening to my brother. It's happening to people in my family. It's happening to the people in my surroundings. So I'm completely aware of it. I'm seeing what's happening from other people just by keeping on track with just sources through the news, through the CDC website, and following things like this, again, which is very important. So knowing that we're going through this and we're all experiencing this, and this is just like a shock to the system, right? So some people are handling it better than others. My approach to this is, I'm looking at this, I'm completely looking at this with, and as even though I know there's hard times to come, and I know how much I've personally lost in the stock market myself, and I'm not happy, but it's something that I believed in. I believe in investing. It's something that I've done my whole life. It's benefited me in ways. It benefits the companies that you invest in, and it's how things are created and how things get done. So is it all roses, butterflies, and unicorns? No. But my mindset, that's where it really matters. And the mindset for me is, I am simply just looking at all the positive in this, okay? And that's all we can do, because this is the reality. I look at the positivity of the innovation that's going to come from this, because like I mentioned, in certain wars where things just will, World War II, other areas where new invention comes from just times of need, because we need it. We need to be more resourcefulness. I believe the world is going to be better off for just illnesses in the future, and the spreading and contamination of the common cold, of the common flu. I think everyone's going to be more aware of washing their hands and just better hygiene and doing things like this. I think on the positive note, when we look at water that's clearing up, air pollution, different things that are happening, I see the positivity in people, how they're coming out of the woodworks and helping people. I see how just on the governmental side, when we just start to see the Republicans and the Democrats are coming together and uniting in different areas. So all these things, I look at all this positivity and I look at this is a time for us to innovate. It's a time for us to create. It's a time for us to be more prepared. It's a time for us to do these things and for us to start working because we know we're in this situation. Don't sit there and panic and be on Facebook and posting all this negative stuff or is what someone said or what someone tweeted, or it's just crazy to me that you would use your time and your energy of really a time of reflection, a time to kind of be together, a time to come together with family more, a time to call loved ones more, a time in so many ways, just there's so many good things that can come from this. And I know you may be experiencing a hardship from someone else, but I also want to ask you this. A lot of times we get into this frantic moment of just like the world's going to end, all this is going wrong, this is all horrible, this is all bad, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, do you know anyone personally? I'm just talking about you. Do you know anyone that's going through all these things that you're saying? Well, no, I don't know anyone in my personal circle or anything that's going through that, but they're saying this about other people. So this is where it comes to me. It's just like the importance of really reflecting and going, it is important to know what's going on in your life, and you cannot save the world, but you can say, you know what, I'm letting all this negative energy and all this rants and all these things get into my psyche, yet my mom's okay, my dad's okay, my brothers are okay, my cousins are, whatever it may be. I want you just to take a second just to look at that, your personal surroundings. Again, I'm sorry for those of you that are going through hard times that can say, yeah, dude, right now, my brother, this just happened, and because of that, there's going to be you guys out there. But I just want you to put it into perspective so you don't start freaking yourself out so much. And another thing I just want to say, which is so sad to me, is this constant thing with just people are home right now, and instead of working on their own creative projects, instead of trying to really use the energy and the force and the time to really work on yourself, whether it might be more learning, more reading, more anything that you can do and start to go, now I got the time. Before I kept saying, I have no time, I have no time, I have no time. Well, now is your time. For any of you guys out there who kept complaining that you have no time, here it is. Are you going to practice what you're trying to preach or saying? Or was that always just an excuse, and it still is an excuse today? Because even though you got this time, you're still making an excuse, which means you're just never going to do anything anyway. So are you going to be the one who's going to stand up and say, you know what, this is the moment, this is the time, I'm going to start acting? The thing that drives me nuts is, again, going through looking at Facebook, and I try to stay off it as much as I can because I think people have just gone crazy. And the constant, again, not working on themselves, but posting just negative messages. And I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care what the hell you are. The thing of the matter is just to stop thinking that the president is going to say something miraculous and that the president is going to say something. He should be more presidential. I can't believe he said this. And every time you keep posting all these negative things, these little clips that you find and all that from the news and everything else, you're putting it in the minds and the feed of thousands of other people. Maybe it's 10 people, 10 people goes to 20. It's just like the virus. Your messages spread like a virus amongst everyone's feed. So all of a sudden, everyone's saying, wow, I didn't even hear that. I didn't know that was going on. And again, oh, the president said this. He told a reporter to, you're a bad reporter. Oh no, and then that's all anyone's posting that, why? Were you expecting anything different from the president? And even if he did say something profound, are you going to just accept him for that? No, no one is. He's not that guy. We all know this. Everyone knows this. Why is everyone thinking that our president is Winston Churchill, or is going to become Winston Churchill, or all of a sudden is like, Abraham Lincoln? He's not. The thing that you want to pay attention to, in my opinion, again, this is not about being Democrat, Republican, I don't care what what you are. What it's all about is looking at action. What are the actions being taken now, today? Not what happened 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 2 weeks ago. Look at the positivity. It'll change your mindset on things. Just read, stop watching news that's feeding you just the, oh my God, the world's going to end. Whatever you watch, whether you're watching CNN, MSN, Fox, I don't care what the hell you watch. I don't care what you read. Just, it's common sense, people. You want, in your life, if you were living on an island and I told you, here's the island. On the left-hand side is a bunch of people who are sharing a bunch of negative information about something that's happening constantly all the time, or they think is happening. And over here, these people are building stuff and they're working on their own projects and they're just kind of seem to be pretty, supporting each other and helping each other and just having conversation. And these ones are panicking. Which side? It's almost like the Matrix. Which pill are you going to take? Do you want to be on the side of mayhem and madness and just constant like fear mongering in the sense of worry in your mind? Because like I've said, people are creating a lot of this stuff. Write all the stuff down you think is going to go horribly wrong. Write it down on paper. And I want you to wait and see when this does come to pass. You look back and go, well, that never happened. Well, that did happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. And see which outweighs what. And I guarantee you, the positive is going to absolutely outweigh the negative. It will, and it will in any other thing you do in your life. And that's the message I want to spread to you, is stop with that. Could you imagine if everyone would just start to share all the good things that are happening? What about all these companies that are coming to the forefront that are paying their employees while they're not working, even though, yeah, we do hear layoffs? What about the stimulus plans that are going into effect that are going to be coming? What about all the companies that are giving and producing the stuff that we need right now? No one's gone through this before. We weren't prepared. No one was. You could argue that we should have been prepared 10 years ago. We should have been prepared during the Ebola outbreak. Why weren't we prepared the minute the Ebola pandemic happened, where all those people died? Why didn't the government stock up on everything they needed to then? Why did everyone wait? Do we have to go through this a second time for the government just to realize that? But yeah, apparently so. So now we're going through this time where the governments, everyone's government, we are all living in different countries here, is doing things, and some people are being more hard hit because of what we need to do. Is our part is sort of stop the spread of the virus through eliminating the curve of getting all the people overwhelming the hospitals. That's unfortunately what's happened in Italy. Because people didn't stop fast enough, all the social distancing and all that stuff, it got out of control to where it became too late and the hospitals got overwhelmed. They're not set up for this at all, and they had to start making decisions. We can't save this person, we can save this person, and that's why it happened. And this is why we have to stay indoors, just to help humans, help other people. It's not about you. It's about just knowing that you're helping all the hospital workers. You're helping lower it so there's enough beds and everything else, enough masks and all that stuff. Again, stop sharing all the stupid news feeds of what the president said or did or didn't. It's just, all it does is make things worse. There is nothing good about that. Again, you can love and hate the president. I don't flipping care. It doesn't matter, but stop expecting. This is the problem. Acceptance is the greatest thing that you can have and welcome into your heart. And especially in a time like this, the acceptance and surrender, the acceptance that this is the president of the United States, whether you hate him or love him. I don't care. It's the acceptance that this is who's in office right now and this is who is there. You're not going to change it unless you want to move to another planet, and you're not going to another planet. So why keep fighting it? I just don't understand. It's just like, it drives me nuts because it frustrates me, because I know that when it's not just thinking, oh, just think positive, woohoo feeling. It's nothing to do with that. It's just that when if you keep saying, telling yourself, I'm going to get rejected, I'm going to get rejected, I'm going to get rejected, I'm going to get burnt, I'm going to get burnt, I'm going to get burnt. Nothing ever works out for me. Nothing works out. You just close your mind. Your mind is filled like a bucket of trash to the max with all the negative stuff. And what you simply want to do is you want to empty your cup, whatever it may be. You want to take your cup and you want it, mine's still got some coffee in it. I'm going to have a sip. You want to have the cup to where it's empty, to where you can start to put the good thing in it and take out of what you need from it, but not overfill it with all this junk and rhetoric which is going on. So stop fooling yourselves. And that's the thing again, which sort of just drives me nuts, is people think that they're helping anyone. It's like people preach about save everyone, help the planet, help this, help that, yet all they're sharing is negative stuff. And they're not sharing the positive stuff. Instead of, like, by doing that, you're going to realize that, yeah, maybe, wow, I didn't know that was going on. Wow, I didn't realize that I could go down to this local place and help someone out, because you're so consumed with all the negative, you don't even allow yourself to have the positive in there. And that's why this is going to be such an important time. When we're coming together like this is what this means. Yes, and that's why I would love to see that change. I know I won't. You know, it's wishful thinking. It's a dream. But again, and anyone who thinks they're sharing information on Facebook that is going to change anyone's mind, you're not. If you believe what you believe, if you hate the president, every one of you who hate the president are going to hate the president. If you love the president, every one of you who love the president are going to love the president. You're not going to change people's minds. It's just the way people are bred, the way people think. People are going to say, hey, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that. But let's be our own mind makers, make up our own minds. Let's stop thinking that we want the government to step in and take over and do all this. That's not what we want. We don't want all that. We want to be able to be free thinkers. We want to think for ourselves. So stop sitting waiting for the president to say something kind or say something right. Yeah, it's a lost battle. You're wasting so much energy. Just look at the actions that are being taken. Are there things that are doing? Are we doing things to help? Yes. When we look at all the numbers, I don't know what they're going to be like 2 weeks from now. But all I know is, like, when you look at the numbers today reported by the CDC, don't look at Fox News. Don't look at MSNBC or CNN, or don't look at anyone. Just look at the facts. Go to the CDC to get the actual information, because those guys are bipartisan. Those guys are scientists. Those guys aren't siding with anyone. They're just giving the facts. Stop waiting for it to come out of the president's mouth. Since when do you listen, or have you ever listened to the president? You don't, and no one was even listening to the president before this president, or the president before that president. All of a sudden, everyone cares. It's just crazy. So for yourself and your own sanity, I challenge you guys. I challenge you guys for the next couple weeks while you're in house to find something positive that is being done by a company, by the scientists, by the government, that you can spread and share to everyone else of good things that are happening. Don't stop thinking about that we didn't have test kits in time and the test kits this. It's over with. Just stop and do that. See if that'll change not only yourself, your inner feeling about everything, but see how you're going to actually be helping. Isn't that what you want to do? Don't you want to have that? Don't you want to share positive information? Don't you remember being a child when you were just so happy to go to the park and sit on the swing instead of having to stay at home and being punished by your parents? Wasn't that so much better to go out onto the jumpies and go to kids' birthday parties and go on hikes and just celebrate things? Isn't celebration so much greater of a feeling, and isn't happiness so much better of a feeling than just not being happy? Isn't not being depressed so much better than being depressed? Isn't not having anxiety so much better than having anxiety? So we get to change that. You get to decide, not the president, not the government, not this person, not that person. You get to decide how you want to think about this. And what you have to do is just be cautious. Do things to protect your family. You got to help yourself, your family. If you want to call it selfish, call it selfish. But everyone in their right mind knows that they want to protect themselves and their family. There's not even animals want to do that. We know that's what this is all about. So take care of yourself. Just make sure that you're abiding by the regulations and restrictions your government is asking you kindly to do. They're not coming out to arrest you or beat you or lock you up. They're kindly asking you to be a citizen of your country and to help do your part in helping humanity. Can you do that? Can you help other people? Can you stop? Can you help other people just by sharing positive vibes and information and, just be in Margaritaville in a sense? Again, you might be facing whatever challenges you're facing, losing jobs, losing work, losing all these stuff. But this is the acceptance and the surrender of the reality of this. So does it help you by worrying about it? No, you're just going to drive yourself even crazier. You're going to go even badder. You're going to get even more upset. Otherwise, you can say, okay, this is a time for me to be an innovator. Yeah, me. I'm not waiting for Nike to be innovative. I'm not waiting for Amazon to be innovative. I'm not waiting for the government to be innovative. How can I be innovative and creative in my time of my quarantine and me being here and the people that are surrounding me? Well, I don't know what those are going to be for you. You're all going to have your own things, but that could either be starting projects that you've always put off. It could be starting just to make sure that start looking at your financials and start going, you know what, I was spending, $75 a month on this thing that do I really need that? And maybe you realize I don't need that so much, and you might pull back on those certain aspects. Again, you're going to know where you're at, but I promise you, this too shall pass. And I also encourage you guys to look at videos online on YouTube of 1918, 1911 influenza survivors, people who survived the pandemic where it killed nearly 50, 60 million people. Look at their stories. Look what they're telling you. They survived it. Look at the people who survived the Holocaust. Look at the worst things, the catastrophes that have happened in the world. We're not going through that right now. It's just crazy. This is a serious thing. So don't get me wrong with what I'm about to say. This is extremely serious, and I've told you what you need to do, and everyone else has. But what I will tell you is that 13,000 people die every single week from the flu. 13,000 people every single week die from the flu around the world. So when we look at the scheme of things, the amount of people that may be affected, people are healing. We're getting reports of that. We're getting these reports. That's what you got to follow. People are healing from this. They're not dying like the influenza from way back when. They're not dying from like they were doing from Ebola. They're not. And it's not a reality. So the death toll is, in all honesty, a lot less. Doesn't mean, oh, good, I can celebrate. No. This is the reality. This is the movie we're living in right now. Businesses are shutting down. People are losing jobs. People are losing their 401ks. People are losing their retirements. A lot of these bad things are happening, but again, what can you, and watch those videos and see how all these people survived this and things that they did to survive it. One woman talked about how her mom gave her baking soda every morning in their town. And because they had baking soda every morning, just less than a teaspoon, because you don't want too much of it, because that could be dangerous. You have the baking soda, and I started researching it, and that's the thing. Research, follow up. Don't just take things as granted. Don't just watch these stupid things that people post on Facebook and go, yeah, I knew it, and not even researching it or digging into it. That's what drives me nuts. Research it. So I started researching scientific papers and all this of just the benefits of baking soda, how it helps your immune system if you have a weak immunity. And so it helped her and her family. Her and her family were the only ones during the influenza that didn't get sick. And everyone started coming to them because this was this like miracle family of who didn't get sick. And she says, I just say it was because I think it was because of the baking soda that we had every morning. And so there's proof, and there are doctors and there's scientific research that they've done it on studies on rats and humans for years now. And there's scientific proof that it actually does a lot of beneficial things to your spleen and your intestines. I've actually started having baking soda and some lemon every morning, just because it could help you stopping from ever getting the flu. Again, it's not, I don't know, but I'm just reading those things. I want to share that with you, but do things like that. That's where you put things into action, where you follow up, you learn, you educate yourself, and that's how you just start to get better. So I really want you to hopefully, this didn't get too crazy for you, but I really believe in all this. Just I challenge you guys to share positive news. If you're the person who keeps showing clips of what the president said or did, you're not helping anyone. You doing this for you? Is this just so that you can be a crusader and be seen and heard by people and get someone to like your post? Come on. Let's just be real here. Let's just be honest here. That's why a lot of this stuff goes on. When we share things, it's because we want people to see what we want to say. We want people to hear what we want to have to say. And I'm quite happy. And a lot of times I see people posting such negative things and they don't have that many likes on it. And I go, good. That means that people stop trying to spew that. Stop trying to share that. Share the positivity, please. This is how we change the world. This is how you change your own outcome. This is how you get rid of the anxiety. This is how you get rid of the depression in yourself. This is how you start innovating and thinking about new ways for you and your family to make things just better in your life and start to prepare for next time something like this happens. You're going to be prepared. Boy Scout motto, be prepared. So please, take whatever I said in however you want to kind of hear it. And, we're all entitled to our own opinions about whatever it's going to be, but that's all I can ask. I'm going to do my part. I'm just focusing on sharing positivity on my Facebook. I share artwork. I love Instagram because people just share artwork. It's great. We don't have to worry about people's political stuff. Facebook, a whole nother beast. But can you imagine if we all just started to share the positivity? How this is going to change. Let's do it. Give it a try. I challenge you. All right. Make it a great one, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. We're still going to be here. To learn more about my Skype mentorships and workshops, please visit silvertunes.com. And if you like, sign up for my mailing list where you'll be notified of any upcoming workshops or events. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.